This is Imagine Air Theater. I'm your host, Terry Phillips. You're about to hear episode 2 of a special 4-part miniseries called The Most Dangerous Man. It's co-authored by Roy Schreiber and me. If you have not yet listened to episode 1, you should probably do that first. Whether you're a new listener or a regular, welcome to the program, and thanks for joining us. In the early 20th century, U.S. public opinion was decidedly isolationist. Most Americans were in favor of global neutrality. Then came World War I. After the United States entered that conflict, Congress passed strict laws forbidding any interference with the war effort. But one popular labor leader opposed the war. Stay tuned for the second episode of The Most Dangerous Man. But first, if you like our plays and want to hear more, you can support us by becoming an Imagine Air Theater patron on Patreon. Just visit www.patreon.com/imagineair. I'll have more information about that at the end of this episode. And now, on with the show. In our first episode, a certain patriotic journalist in Ohio was investigating anti-war activist Eugene V. Debs. The reporter told a federal prosecutor that Debs might defy the 1917 Espionage Act. It provided long prison sentences for those publicly opposing the war. Debs was invited to speak at a socialist rally in Canton. Back at their home in Terre Haute, Indiana, Debs's wife, Kate, tried persuading him not to go.
You could get arrested. You could get killed. This speech could give the government a legal way to stop you, to get rid of you.
Like I told you, if I'm careful in what I say...
But if you went to Canton and something happened to you, God forbid, I don't know how I'd survive.
Katie, I hate to admit this, but we're nearly broke already. And the people in Canton would pay good money to hear me speak.
We've always made do, and we always will. Together.
I'm doing my best to take care of us.
I know, dearest one, but most men as old as you don't like dancing right on the edge.
As long as I'm dancing with you, my love.
So stay here with me. Don't go to Canton, Eugene.
Will Eugene Debs take a chance, go to Canton, and speak out against the war? Or will he take his wife's advice, avoid trouble, and stay home with her? Let's find out. Episode 2 begins with crusading journalist Clyde Miller in the office of a federal prosecutor.
Mr. Wertz, I'll go to that socialist rally in Canton. If Debs is there, and if he does speak out against the war, my paper will get you the proof you need.
Very well. But be sure to call me right away, Miller. I don't want to read about this first in the Cleveland Plain Dealer.
Of course. Anything I can do to stop that traitor.
Good luck.
Yes, sir?
Janet, get me Washington on the phone. I need to talk with the Attorney General about Debs.
Right away, Mr. Wertz.
The following week, a group of socialists gather at a park in Canton, Ohio. Their guest of honor is working his way to the speaker's platform.
Eugene, it's wonderful to see you.
Good to see you, too. This is quite a turnout. What a huge crowd.
They're all here to see you, comrade.
Well, let's not keep them waiting.
Your attention, please. Your attention, please. This is the moment we have been waiting for. Please give a warm welcome to our inspirational keynote speaker, the founder of our party and the next president of these United States, Eugene V. Debs!
Debs for president! Debs for president! Debs for president! Debs for president!
Comrades, friends, and fellow workers, for this very cordial greeting, this very hearty reception, I thank you with the fullest appreciation. To speak for labor, to plead the cause of the men and women and children who toil, to serve the working class has always been to me a high privilege, a duty of love
And so it began, on a Sunday in Canton, Ohio, June 16th, 1918.
Those boys over yonder, those comrades of ours, and how I love them. Their very names throb in my heart, thrill in my veins, and surge in my soul.
As a crowd of supporters hung on his every word, Eugene Debs tested a law which prohibited interference with the war effort. Some believed simply speaking out against the war went too far and was illegal. Debs walked right up to that line. But did he cross it? Listen and judge for yourself.
I am proud of them. They are there for us, and we are here for them. Their lips, though temporarily mute, are more eloquent than ever before, and their voice, though silent, is heard around the world.
The speaker kept going. He pressed on, inspired his audience. One man in the crowd was taking meticulous notes which he believed would put Debs behind bars.
They would have you believe that the Socialist Party consists in the main of disloyalists and traitors. It is true in a sense, not at all to their discredit. We frankly admit that we are disloyalists and traitors to the real traitors of this nation, the corrupt capitalist parties. They have always taught and trained you to believe it to be your patriotic duty to go to war and to have yourselves slaughtered at their command. But in all the history of the world, you, the people, have never had a voice in declaring war. And strange as it certainly appears, no war by any nation in any age has ever been declared by the people. In due time, the hour will strike, and this great cause triumphant, the greatest in history, will proclaim the emancipation of the working class and the brotherhood of all mankind.
The crescendo brought everyone in the crowd to their feet. Everyone, that is, except for one man. That man finagled his way to the edge of the park and a nearby public telephone.
Edwin Wertz speaking.
Clyde Miller here.
Miller, what have you got? Tell me what Debs said.
That man has more lung power than a platoon of preachers. He talked for 2 hours. I nearly ran out of paper. It was exhausting, I tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure you deserve a medal for journalistic true grit, but tell me about the speech, man. What did he say?
He admitted it. He confessed to being a traitor, himself and the lot of them.
Are you quite certain?
Word for word. He said, quote, "We frankly admit that we are disloyalists and traitors." Do you need more proof than that?
It sounds like he wants to get put in prison. He's practically daring us to do so. But I don't know.
That's an anti-war speech if I ever heard one.
I wish being against the war were illegal, but there's a fine line between making a speech and violating the Sedition Act.
I'll be blunt, Mr. Wertz. After the election next year, do you really think you can keep your job if my paper says you let Debs make a speech like that? And did nothing?
Well, I suppose not.
I hear that Mitchell Palmer is next in line for Attorney General. Might even run for president. He'd probably crack down on all kinds of disloyal radicals. I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to add Debs to his list. You could be a real hero by getting out in front of this.
Listen, Miller. I am expecting a call from Washington this week. Until then, can you keep this under your hat?
Wait a minute. Are you asking me not to report this? I have an exclusive story here. Keep this under my hat? The lead should be, local prosecutor ignores traitors.
Now hold on.
You're not going to arrest Debs?
Look here, Miller. This is Sunday. I can't get a federal judge to issue a warrant today. Call my office tomorrow afternoon. I'll let you know then.
Will the federal prosecutor give in to pressure from this newspaper reporter and order Debs' arrest? Or will Debs remain free to oppose American involvement in the war to end all wars? Find out in Episode 3 of The Most Dangerous Man. You've been listening to The Most Dangerous Man on Imagine Air Theater. This special 4-part miniseries was co-authored by Roy Schreiber and me. Episode 2 featured Paul Rogan as Eugene Debs, Tim McCaffrey as Clyde Miller, Stella Valente as Kate Debs, and Hayes Dunlap as Edwin Wertz, with Pilar Uribe as Janet and the Emcee. Script consultant Mark Boyce. Casting director Stella Valente. Our theme song comes from Roman Senyk. Other music included Over There by George M. Cohan, Keep the Home Fires Burning by Ivor Novello and Lena Gilbert Brown Ford, and I Didn't Raise My Boy to Be a Soldier by Piantadosi and Alfred Bryan. Imagine Air Theater is made possible by contributions from our listeners. If you like these plays and want to hear more, please support us. Go to patreon.com/imagineair. Become a paying member for as little as $1 per month. Again, that's patreon.com/imagineair, all one word. We really appreciate your help. I'm Terry Phillips, inviting you to join us again for the next episode of Imagine Air Theater. It's all in your head.